Are you using your failure correctly? That sounds weird, doesn't it? So there's a quote from a guy named Dennis Waitley that failure is the fertilizer to success. And I was just reading this book with my son. My son's 8 years old. I'm teaching him some of these life techniques and truly how to live an amazing life. I've coached over teams of 30,000 people over the last, since 2006. And that number is growing rapidly every day. Coach tons of people to help make their first dollar and on, all the way up to, beyond full-time incomes, and made hundreds of thousands of dollars. But here's something in common that I see from people whether they continue on to reach their dreams or whether they continue on to a life of poverty and mediocrity. And so I want to read for you. This was straight out of this book, and this is a story about this gentleman's life, but something during the story that his mom, a little note that she wrote to him, is the 5 attitudes toward failure. And this is actually from Tom Hopkins. And what the 5 attitudes are is, number 1, I never see failure as failure, but only as a learning experience. Number 2, I never see failure as failure, but only as negative feedback I need to change my course and direction. That's a huge one. It actually comes from psycho-cybernetics and redirecting with negative feedback to course correct, back on course. Number 3, I never see failure as failure, but only as an opportunity to develop my sense of humor. You ever have something you can look back on that at the time was really painful, but you look back on it now, you're like, man, wasn't that pretty hilarious? And you can learn lessons from that and really, literally develop a sense of humor. Number 4, I never see failure as failure, but only as the game I must play to win. One of the millionaires I know, he always talks about play this money game. And it just comes down to throwing money around, playing games with it, and learning how to take $1 and turn it into $1.10, $1.50, $5, $10. It's just a game, that's all it is. Looking at failure as a game, same thing. Number 5, I never see failure as failure, but only as the opportunity to practice my techniques and perfect my performance. So I want to ask you something. Are you having enough failure in your life? Because here's the reality. Anybody who's a self-made millionaire, anybody who's made millions, we look at things just a little bit differently than the average person. Now, the average person, we're talking 98% of the world. If you want to step into the 2% of people who do become self-made millionaires and do live the life that God designed them to live, it's not that they're born like that. You can choose right now to become a 2%er. You can choose to look at failure as this game you're playing, to look at failure as a way to course correct back into direction, to look at failure with a sense of humor. That's a choice you get to make every single day. So I ask you again, are you failing enough? Are you celebrating your failures? Are you realizing that failure is the fertilizer to success? So if you want to have success, learn to fail. Learn to get the word no more often and course correct on your way there. I have this brand new member I've been coaching literally just for the last 10 days or so, and I've already watched him come across 2 or 3 separate things that are big. One of them was he started advertising on something called Google AdWords, and don't worry if you don't know what that is, but he started throwing some advertising money, and they told him, no, you can't do this. So he kept going. They said, hey, we already told you no, and they shut down his account. You know what he did? He didn't freak out and start cussing and say, oh, this doesn't work and I'm gonna quit. He used that failure as feedback, and he said, screw you, I'm gonna go find a new advertising source, and that's exactly what he did. And then you know what happened? A few days later, he spent like 10 or 20 bucks and got his first sign up ever. His first customer of his life, and he had never done online business before. Why? How can that happen? Because he's looking at failure as an opportunity to course correct and go in the right direction, even a sense of humor about it. He was laughing. He's like, forget you, man. I'll just go change. I'll go do something else. And he literally just wrote this blog post I was reading. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just going to keep taking action until I have the success. He has a single focus, a single-minded determination that there is no other option. He's never found anything as good as what we're doing together. He's never found a mentor like me, and he tries to give me all the credit. The real credit is in his heart and desire. The real credit is, I just tell him some simple words like, I believe in you. I'm here, I have all the success, and I'll help steer you in the right directions the best I can based on these thousands of people that I've coached in my past. But it all comes down to you. What's in your heart? Are you willing to look for more failures, to look for more opportunities? Are you really driven to never give up, to never have a plan B, to set your sights and say, I am going to make $1 million with this, period, and nothing is going to stop me. That's it, period. And if you're willing to do that, you can have all the success you ever dreamed of. So if you want more information just like this, you want to have powerful, the psychology, the right vehicles, you want to have the lessons, and I don't care whether you ever buy anything from me ever, I will give you tons of video tips that you can literally take all of these lessons, go apply them to any business you're in right now. If you're not in a business, you can learn about businesses, you can learn how to evaluate businesses, how to evaluate teachers and mentors, how to, what books to read, what book I just took that quote from, what books am I reading with my son, what books do I have my team members read. All of that can be yours. Just go down to the link below, enter your name or email or whatever it asks you for, and my list, you'll be entered into my list, which is a place I really take care of more than any other place besides my own personal customers. Because when you join my list, I look to live my mission statement, which is, the purpose of my life is to love, to enjoy the journey, and to inspire, teach, and serve others. And that's literally what I do every single day through the tips, the secrets, the techniques, the teachings, the mentoring, the inspirations that I pour into on a very regular basis, usually daily, sometimes only 3 to 5 times a week. It depends on how much I'm out, hanging with my family, living the good life. But I guarantee you, for free, you go enter your name and or email address down at the link below or somewhere, and you are going to be entered in and start learning how to take those steps to be in that 2%, to look at failure with a brand new light. So I hope you enjoyed this, my friends. I look forward to working with you. Go enter your name and email right now to your ultimate success, and God bless.